Hello everybody and welcome to my 28th career race in Formula 1 2013. It's going to be the German Grand Prix at the Nuerburgring to decide how well I'll be doing heading into the halfway point of the season. And I'm certainly getting the one over on Pastor Maldonado yet again, as I'm trying to gain the number one seat in my team and pushing as hard as I can in Q1. I managed to go all the way from 18th to 6th, so great news for me. It was a tough session, but I eventually got my momentum going. And disappointment there for Gutierrez. He's eliminated, as well as Jean-Eric Vergne. The K-Drums and the Rush is gone as well. So now we're on to qualifying 2. It's quite late in the session, and Hamilton gets in the way. So, that's a big mistake, and I've lost part of my front wing. So Hamilton lay just getting right on the racing line and forcing me into an unnecessary mistake. So I have to stay out. If I pitted again, it would have taken all the time out of my session. So now I have to do all my hard work with part of my front wing missing. I'm half a tenth down compared to Jenson Button's time, and now I'm really pushing hard for it now. 1:56 to go, 9/10 of a second down, but a big improvement on my own personal time. I need to qualify at least 10th according to the team here. It's not going to happen, but we go for glory here. 1:33.9. And that just about gets me a 13th position. So not a bad effort considering I qualified 12th here last season, as you probably saw on the season 1 race recap. And just there, Lewis Hamilton receives a 10th place grid penalty for seemingly blocking me. I don't know if it was for definite, but that's the way. And now we move on to the race. It was wet last year, and it's deja vu as it's wet again this year, but with just 14% chance, I expect the rain to dissipate very early indeed. I don't know if it will for sure, but Nico Rosberg takes pole in front of his home crowd, and now we're going to just show our strategy. Since I don't have any wet, I've only got 2 sets of wet tyres. I have to use the intermediates regardless of what happens if it stays wet in the last stint. And now there you go, Lewis Hamilton would have been on pole if he didn't receive his penalty, but we're away. We have to move on from the disappointment qualifying, and we're trying to get the car off the line. It's so difficult, and of course you're not going to be able to see a thing as cars pile into the first hairpin. Minimum visibility, of course. I make contact with the Scotsman. I found a gap, and I'm up into 10th, so points already. But look at Sutil, he's off to a good start, and I have to be careful of the car on my inside. I think it's good. I could feel a bit of a slip on my car, and there's Sergio Perez in his McLaren going down the inside. And I'm trying again just to make the move stick, and it's a success. Vettel pushed wide by Hamilton. Hamilton on fire today. Great start for the Briton. And now I'm trying to find Vettel on the outside, but it's not to be. And I take it much safer than I did last season. And braking again. Vettel now has a job to do to keep me at bay, but I can only do my best again. The zero visibility effects are superb, and we just have to keep the car on the road. Missing the apex just a little bit there, but we move on and up the Schumacher S, flat out as best you can, even in these full wet conditions, and trying to follow the slipstream and braking at the 100-meter board. Is that? Oh, there's complete. Well, 5 and 6 is ahead of me there. Quite unbelievable, and I lost a lot of time, and definitely Vettel's going to join in that battle with Sergio Perez right behind to pile on the pressure, and he goes for the outside line. I block, and Vettel now stuck on minimum contact made, and I just try to negotiate the chicane as best I can. And you can see a car going down the inside heading into the last corner, so we've got 4 cars battling for that one position, and Vettel loses time to Hamilton, and I've got the inside. Maybe it could be an extraordinary moment going down the inside of the championship leader Vettel, and I'm through, and I brake as early as I can, and I'm past Hamilton as well. Maybe going for Hamilton's outside heading into turn 2. What's going to happen? We've had a bit of a rivalry brewing in the last few Grand Prix. He's got the inside, but I have a nose to the advantage, and I'm through. It's 5th place. I'm almost certain of it now if I just keep the inside. Yes, Hamilton. Oh, he's gone off. He's gone ever so slightly off, and Vettel overtakes him as well. Disappointment. Now we're heading back up to the chicane. Lap 3. We're Breaking at the 100 metre mark. Contact! Contact! I've been spun, and I believe Hamilton is the man who was responsible. He must have braked way too late and taken me out. Here's a look at the replay. Yes, you can see there Hamilton nicks my rear left wheel, and I'm sent into a tailspin, and that completely ruined my plans for today. Huge disappointment. We now rejoin in no man's land, really. My teammate is right there as well, so the rest overtakes, and I'm just spawned ahead of my teammate. And well, Hamilton has to pit for repairs, but what a stupid move for him to commit. I was defending my line as best I could from Sebastian Vettel, and then he takes me out pretty much with no remorse. But that's the way Hamilton's race is in the dumps now. You can see my tyres are starting to feel the pain, and the rain is starting to recede just a little bit. So we're going to plan to stop for intermediate tyres. And now I think the threshold's been met. Yes, cars flying into the pits, left, right and centre. We have to change tyres. Maldonado coming in as well, so this is bad news for Williams. We can't afford a big queue of cars trying to get tyres. And now you can see everyone who's anyone is pitting. So yeah, you can see all the crews are out. There's queues and chaos as far as the eye can see. But now here's Williams ready to take me on for a stop, switching to the green striped intermediates. And we're blocked, and you can understand why. And look at Maldonado, he's badly blocked as well. And a good job by the pit stop team. They did their best. They kept me safe, and they kept themselves safe as well. So I do emerge in 10th place, but disaster for Pastor Maldonado. He couldn't get out in time. Here's a look at the running order. Alonso, Rosberg, Webber, Massa, Vettel, Grosjean, Ricardo, Perez, myself, or Raikkonen and myself in the top 10. And Perez makes a mistake. Perez off the road. It's only lap 6, and the Mexican makes a mistake. So I'm up to 9th. So I gained a lot from that pit stop just by simply being in a fortuitous position in the garages. And Perez now braking as late as he can. And we're away. Now we're braking. And there's Kimi Raikkonen. He's made the same mistake as Perez did, but Perez wants a bit of payback. And Alonso putting in a phenomenal fastest lap of 140.7 as the conditions have changed dramatically now. Braking as late as I can again. The chicane is where the most highlights are. And you might remember from last season, I keep harking back to it, but last season I had a great duel with Perez for 11th place. And it just wasn't to be for my point of view. And a bit of a slide. But Vettel performs a new fastest lap. And I get a 144.3, so you can see I'm starting to get the hang of these intermediate tyres. And braking as late as I can again. Kimi Raikkonen will probably pull away, but he does have fuel conservation mode, so I have to try and punish him for that, but it's not to be at the moment. And Alonso again, fastest lap, and defending from Perez. And there's a car catching him as well as me. And there you go, Perez now makes a move. He goes inside, and with no curves to defend myself, I don't have much of a notion. And Jenson Button fancied a go as well, so I'm back down to 10th. So, you know, literally no harm done. But Jenson Button was certainly affected in the pits, and now he wants to get his point back. And my objective is 11th place. I will take that. That's not a bad result. But Jenson Button wants to make sure he gets the point, as I mentioned previously, but it's not looking good at the minute as I block cleanly. And then now it's lap 10, so a third of the race distance, and Jenson Button will try again. It's just constant barragement. There's nothing I can do to pull away from the McLaren, and he just wants to get the move done now rather than later. So I just have to keep defending, and we're through for another lap. And at this stage, Perez is long gone. I won't stand a chance of catching him. So, and that's disappointing. And I crossed the line for another fastest lap, I think. Yeah, 142.2. And now it's lap 11. I brake a little early, but it seems to be okay. Jenson Button a little further back this time, but he gets a lot of traction out of that turn. And now he's going to try again. You can see the racing line is drying out again. Button goes outside. He's ahead of me by a nose. Braking as late as I can, but I see the inside line and I take it, and Button is forced onto the sponsorship, and I gain the position back. Lap 12, the tyres are really worn out now, I've got to be careful. Button has actually taken full advantage of my my carefulness. Contact, and he's wide. Button into the gravel trap, and it's a penalty. Black and white flag. It's the least amount of contact I could have made, but there you have it. Just as the rain starts to stop, I've got a penalty. So I will admit I probably did put him into pressure and put him in the gravel, but it's definitely a punishment that doesn't fit the crime, I feel. And I'm now all the way down in 15th on worn out tyres in the wrong weather conditions. So is this race all but over for me now? Have I blown it? I've got to get my option tyres on. It's barely halfway through, and we have to make another pit stop, another trip down pit lane, and now we change. It's a wet to dry race. I've never had that before in all my days in F1. I don't think, not in a long time. It's usually dry to wet, but we move on regardless, and we're in 15th position. But now look at this. Some cars don't even change tyres, but Mark Webber is your race leader. Massa and Alonso surprisingly haven't changed their tyres, but no retirements either. And it's all just trying to comprehend all this stuff. It's a little difficult at this moment in time, and we just have to carry on. So we're a few seconds behind Nico Hülkenberg, and there is a big traffic queue of cars, and there's debris. I think it belongs to McLaren, and Jenson Button is my prime suspect, and it is Jenson Button. He's desperately slow, and I managed to overtake Hülkenberg in the confusion, and now there is a slim chance I could catch Jean-Eric Vergne and one of the other cars ahead of him. I don't know who it is, but we'll check out the person I need to catch later. But here we go. Nico Hülkenberg, he's upset that he was balked by the McLaren that was taken out in turn 1. He must have smashed into the back of somebody. Braking now to begin the the final sector really in this after this corner. We can now push as hard as we can. Jean-Eric Vergne within 2 seconds, but Hülkenberg just 6/10 behind, and I'm really feeling the pace now. And now Jean-Eric Vergne is slow. I wasn't expecting to catch him up so soon, and I think he's vulnerable to some DRS. Yes, there you go. Absolutely simple. And it's Adrian Sutil, the man I must conquer if I'm going to get my minimum objective. And I hit the bollard on the inside. Bad times there, but Jean-Eric Vergne will now hold up Hülkenberg a little bit more. I make a mistake just as the game says I disconnected from the servers, but it doesn't affect single player, so that's all well and good. Sutil, Hülkenberg and Vergne all pit at the same time, so we have to survive another 12 laps on one more compounded tyre perhaps, and I choose the hard tyre, which is definitely the sensible option, and I have a slim chance of catching Sutil for 11th position. What a comeback that'll be. But Hülkenberg takes 13th in the pit lane battle. We have a retirement. As you can see, we're down to 21 cars, but I have to gain 3.2 seconds on Sutil with this. Massa, Webber, Vettel, Alonso, Rosberg, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Perez, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Sutil, myself and Hülkenberg. So Hamilton somehow getting back into the points, and now we join myself heading into turn 1, and the bollard is right in the middle of the road, and I've clipped it, and it sends me offline, and that is my day done. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Look, from beginning to end I've been in ridiculously unfortunate situations, and that is the worst of the lot. I corner cut in a bit of anxiety, and now we have to make these tyres last, but maybe we could have one last hurrah as cars pit for their final change of tyres. So I want to stay out until the end of the race and gain a position. So I've actually taken 11th, but now the chase is on. Sutil and Hülkenberg are 7.7 seconds behind, are there and thereabouts, and now it's 6.9 seconds as I make a rather silly error there. So I need to survive on these tyres that have gone since lap 19 till the very, very end, and it's certainly going to be interesting what happens. But these two cars are on the fresh tyres. They're going to catch me, and it's just 3 seconds now, so dramatic catching up work. Here's one last look at the order. Webber, Alonso, Massa, Vettel, Rosberg, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Perez, Hamilton, Ricciardo, myself, Sutil, Hulkenberg, Verne, and well, Sutil, I don't know which pronunciation you prefer, but there you go. Hamilton disappointingly overtook me when I took my drive-through penalty, and that was that. He's now got some points despite his blatant accident with me. And now it's lap 28 as we cross the line. It will be to lap 28 when we cross this line, and I've got Sutil on DRS. He will catch me eventually, and the tyres are in the worst condition they could be. Here's the German pair now braking into the forward chicane. I'm not too sure what it's called, but there you go. It's Ricciardo in the distance and Sutil right behind. So here we go. This is his moment. Hulkenberg on the outside as well. We go 3 wide, just about into the chicane, and there we go. Hulkenberg has overtaken Sutil, and now he can smell 11th place. So that does hold them up ever so slightly. This will be the penultimate lap, but I've made the mistake. Hulkenberg hits me. Hulkenberg loses his wing, and now the race leader Weber has passed us by. So I will have 1 lap to complete, and Hulkenberg's car is wrecked. He has to pit for repairs, and now we're going to overtake him for a dramatic 12th position. Mark Webber wins, justifiably so, just like he did in 2009. Hulkenberg, if he wasn't an AI car, he wouldn't have pitted, but we move on. Verne can't overtake me on the outside, and I take a most bizarre 12th position. It could have been anything, but from lap 3 onwards, my race, it was just a case of bad luck. We didn't take full advantage of our raw pace, but we beat our teammate yet again, and the team was very disappointed, but they can understand why I wasn't able to get a point. So Weber, Alonso and Massa complete the top 3. Vettel unlucky to not make it. Rosberg 5th, Grosjean 6th, Raikkonen 7th, Perez 8th, Hamilton 9th, and Ricciardo 10th. There you go. Sutil pulled out a long gap to me. Hulkenberg had to pit, but he crossed the line. Retirements for Jensen Button and Paul di Resta. Jules Bianchi, the best of the rest there, just behind my teammate Maldonado. So no points gained, no points lost. But Romain Grosjean will catch up now. He's on 35 points. Button's stuck on 34. And the championship lead gets ever more dramatic. I'm sure I forgot to check it, but that's the way. Ferrari have a 33-point lead in the constructors over Red Bull, with Mercedes a disappointing 3rd, and Lotus a long way back. So we gain a bit of XP for beating our qualifying objective, but the race just wasn't quite there. But we shrug our shoulders. We move on, and you can see now I've been promoted. Yay, I've been promoted. So at last, I am the undisputed number 1, as I dreamt since I signed my first deal to join Williams' team. And there you go. Sir Frank Williams is delighted, and now the weight of expectation are firmly on my shoulders now, as Maldonado remains pointless, and he's absolutely one-sided. So it's a fascinating battle, but we move on to the Hungarian Grand Prix, where I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye now.